Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. I hope you guys are having a good weekend, and with the Super Bowl happening this weekend, I thought I would take a look back at some of the events that happened during Super Bowl weekend and Guns N' Roses. Now, of course, their paths have intersected numerous times over the past couple of years. I'm going to do a video tomorrow all about Super Bowl commercials and their tie-in with Guns N' Roses, so you guys will have to stay tuned for that tomorrow. But let's today talk about the events of the Super Bowl and things that have happened the same weekend with members of Guns N' Roses. Now, let's go back to 2011, and you guys probably remember this. So, for some reason over the past 7 years, actually it's kind of funny I say for some reason because everybody knows the reason. The Super Bowl is trying to get the widest audience they possibly can. So back in the day, they used to actually get some good acts to play the halftime show, like U2, they'd get Tom Petty, they'd get Aerosmith. But now it seems they get some pop act. We're getting Justin Timberlake this year, and back in 2011 we got Black Eyed Peas. So as part of Black Eyed Peas' terrible performance, they did manage to get at least some rock credibility by having Slash on the stage. He came out and played a shortened version of Sweet Child of Mine with Fergie, and most people did not like the version, including myself, that they played a Sweet Child of Mine. It's just not the same without Axl's vocals. And many critics agreed. In fact, the Black Eyed Peas received mostly negative reviews for their Super Bowl performance. Now, many people were left scratching their heads. Why would Slash appear with the Black Eyed Peas? It seems like a really weird combination, but what people seem to forget is that Fergie actually sang on Slash's solo record in 2010 on the song Beautiful Dangerous, and even appeared in the music video. Not only that, but Fergie's a huge Guns N' Roses fan. In fact, her son is named Axl. So some of Slash's attire that he wore during the Super Bowl performance was auctioned off for charity through Julian's Auctions. Now you guys may remember when I was in LA, Kevin gave me his auction book, and I actually went through page by page of all the stuff that Slash auctioned off. And let's look at the final prices that some of that stuff sold for. So his Super Bowl performance worn ensemble went for $25 grand. His top hat actually went for almost $19,000. While his guitar he played went for almost $60,000, and his high top shoes sold for almost $2,000. So following Slash's Super Bowl performance, he gave an interview to Rolling Stone magazine where he talked about his performance at the Super Bowl. He also talked about auctioning his stuff for charity, and one of the questions was, how is the Super Bowl gig? To which he responded, it was such a massive production, the likes of which I'd never been involved with so many moving parts. It was really cool. I'm friends with the Black Eyed Peas, but my working relationship with Fergie is probably what really made it work for me. Fergie's dynamite. She's a little bit of an enigma to people because she does her pop thing and she's really good in that realm, but underneath it all, she's a really hard rock chick. Almost a week after Slash performed with the Black Eyed Peas at the Super Bowl, rumors started to swirl that Guns N' Roses would reunite at the Super Bowl the following year, and there was even talk, according to some reports, that preliminary talks had been taking place about a possible reunion of the most popular lineup of Guns N' Roses for the 2012 show. So in an article posted at KenSterling.com, Ken Sterling writes that he's been told of such talks, although Sterling cites no sources and provided only sketchy details. So in his article, which is essentially an opinion piece, Sterling writes, Guns N' Roses might be the only rock band with its members still living that hasn't played the Super Bowl halftime show that could generate a real sense of excitement for what this year became a devolving mess. Sterling went on to assert that the NFL is looking to make a splash in reuniting Axl, Slash, Izzy, Duff, and either Steven Adler, Matt Sorum, and Dizzy Reed. So that past week, the NFL spokesperson had told Parade magazine that the league does not pay artists appearance fees for halftime shows, but instead merely covers expenses. And what's funny is that the years that followed this article, there was a bunch of articles and write-ups and controversy surrounding the fact that the NFL was looking to actually charge artists to perform at the Super Bowl because it was a great venue to expose an artist's music to. So about a month after these rumors started to swirl about Guns N' Roses playing the 2012 halftime show, Duff McKagan was being interviewed by Rolling Stone and shot down the rumors, saying that the Guns N' Roses Super Bowl rumors are bullshit. McKagan was asked by Rolling Stone what would it take to reunite Guns N' Roses, and he laughed and said 7 glided doves. He said, I have no answer for that. I've got to come up with a good one, though. We need a secret clubhouse on an island. Now fast forward to the 2014 Super Bowl halftime show, which saw Bruno Mars playing the show. He was also joined by the Red Hot Chili Peppers for part of the performance, and while many rock fans would be excited by this, there was a lot of controversy that followed as Flea's bass wasn't even plugged into anything, and basically Red Hot Chili Peppers weren't even playing their instruments, and the vocals were pre-recorded. And out of nowhere, Axl Rose released a statement and weighed in on the controversy. Now, a lot of people considered Axl's statement to be mocking the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you guys want to read the whole statement, I've linked to it down below, but part of the statement read like this. He said, maybe sometime before their actual performance, rather than use a standard guitar cord or wireless, in the name of science and for all mankind, Flea courageously had a newly invented breakthrough in microchip technology installed in his ass that picked up the frequencies of his bass and transmitted them to his amplifier. Maybe they all had microchips installed in their asses and not only pick up the frequency of their instruments, but get direct TV and the internet too. Although the Chili Peppers never commented on Axl Rose's microchip theory, Flea did confirm that with the exception of Anthony Kiedis' vocals, the band's Super Bowl set was entirely pre-recorded. He said it was surreal, like once in a lifetime crazy thing you do, and we just wanted to have fun and do it, he wrote on their website. We decided that with Anthony singing live that we could still bring the spirit and freedom of what we want to do into the performance, and we thought it was better to not pretend. It was just like making a music video in front of a gazillion people except with live vocals and only one chance to rock it. So in 2015, Duff McKagan released his second book, How to Be a Man and Other Illusions, which was the follow-up to his critically acclaimed 2011 book, It's So Easy and Other Lies. And in his second book, he talked about seeing an actor, he didn't name the actor, during Super Bowl weekend in 2014. And this actor, a lot of people thought was Philip Seymour Hoffman, who ended up dying during Super Bowl weekend. So the story goes that McKagan and his friends were in New York in early February 2014 for Super Bowl weekend. He and his friends were staying in the West Village and ran into a very famous actor whose name he doesn't reveal out of respect for his children. Now, according to the story, McKagan's friend Ed commented that the actor had been clean for something like 23 years, but he'd heard that recently he started using again. McKagan's crew and the unnamed actor simply nodded to each other but didn't speak. Later that afternoon, when they came back, they saw the actor in the street again and could tell that he was waiting to score, McKagan wrote. Should we offer our friendship in a safe place? This is something that's a dilemma for sober guys. As we all know, you can't force a guy to get sober. He has to come around to himself. We went back into the apartment. After describing a pleasant run-in with Paul McCartney later that night, McKagan wrote that they returned to the West Village apartment and ran smack dab into the actor again on the street at 1:30 a.m. Waiting again, shit man, we thought that maybe he was on his last run before getting clean. Surely if we saw him again in the morning, we'd have to say something, McKagan wrote. The next morning, which was Sunday, February 2nd, 2014, the morning of the Super Bowl, McKagan heard a ruckus outside the front door. He went to take a look. There was an ambulance and a police car outside and a whole crowd of press and fans. The actor had OD'd and died sometime after we saw him at 1:30 a.m. the night before. I found an article that actually looked at what happened during the Super Bowl week in 1992. So Guns N' Roses were out on tour in early 92, pretty much throughout the whole year, and the following year promoting the Use Your Illusion albums. And during the Super Bowl week in 1992, Guns N' Roses were playing in Minneapolis. And Guns N' Roses were playing with Soundgarden at the Target Center, and according to the Star Tribune, the audience was made up mostly of high school students who played with Nerf footballs as they waited for the show to start, and they waited a very long time. Although the band was supposed to come on stage at 9 p.m., they didn't hit the stage until 11:30 p.m. that night, and the show went on until 2:30 in the morning, with parents anxiously waiting next door in the parents' room for the show to end. The following year, Guns N' Roses would still be on tour during Super Bowl weekend. They were down under in Australia and New Zealand. And during early February, we have a couple big birthdays in Guns N' Roses, and that is Axl and Duff. Both of their birthdays are like 2 days apart, and then Del James' birthday's in there somewhere as well. So I'm sure there'll be some birthday news coming up in the coming days. So that basically does it for my look back at the Super Bowl and Guns N' Roses. And tomorrow I'll be doing a whole episode on Guns N' Roses and Super Bowl commercials. I think that one you guys will particularly enjoy, so you guys can check that out tomorrow morning. And make sure you guys tune in tonight. We're going to be having a special podcast. We won't be doing one tomorrow, but we'll be doing one today. And who knows who may show up. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to share this video. And be sure to hit the subscribe button if you love Guns N' Roses as much as I do. You guys can also go follow us on Twitter and Facebook. The links to all that good stuff is down below. And if you guys want to stay up to date on the latest Guns N' Roses news as it's breaking, be sure to go over to our blog at gnrcentral.com, We post numerous news stories every day, and it's updated, and it's honestly, guys, your #1 source for all GNR news. You don't have to sort through a bunch of bullshit fan photos or irrelevant material. You get your news just straight up as it should be. So thanks for watching, guys, and have yourself a good one.